Elmina Castle.
120 people this morning.
The largest female slave dungeon here contained about 150 females. They slept on this bed floor here and they did everything on the floor. When you talk about their feeding, feces, urine, blood, vomit, everything was done here whilst they were sleeping in it. They spent about, they did everything on themselves. And as females too, every month they had their menstruation. They did it for themselves without taking their bath. Now, this particular fever were killing them a lot. They found the place to be a punishment for them. So the men risked their lives to be here without their families. So anytime so during that period, due to the governor's position, he stood up here. That was his balcony. So he stood there, ordered the soldiers to bring out all the females in the dungeons for him to make his choice. Now the selected one, because she spent weeks there without taking a bath, the soldiers fetched water from the reservoir. They washed her up, gave her something to wear and food to eat to gain some strength. After they escorted her using this private access. Please come in and help. Alright, so this staircase here leads to the governor's bedroom. It has a trapdoor. So the soldiers open it out to take her to the governor. And after that she went through in there, she used the same staircase. Alright, so this is a cannonball which weighs about 25 kg. So chains or shackles were attached to it to put on their legs or hands. They stood here for 24 hours with no food, no water, whether rain or sun. Alright, so this dungeon here, it contained about 130 females, and it had a church on top of it called the Dutch Reformed Church. Now, when the Dutch came in, they were Protestants, so they abandoned the Catholic Church that the Portuguese built and rather had theirs on top of this dungeon. And most of the materials that were used to build the castle were imported. So the reddish bricks we have on the floor here, filled with kerosene to serve as a light because the place would dark during the night. And when we look at the canal here, these are the original iron bars used for the rooms. But because they are rusted, we have them replaced by the wooden bars. Jesus God. These metals blocked here. So we'll be using the male transit dungeon to the room of no return. But trust me, return back to don't panic, okay?
Wow. That was great. That looks like an overtime.
Now, before they were shared in the dungeons after the auction, they were branded. So this room right here was the branding room. Branding irons were kept in fire. They had initials on it, bearing the company's or the merchant's name. They put that on their chest or back. It is believed that a lot of them died from the shock. So the males were the ones receiving the branding, whilst the females and the children, they were wearing tags on their necks or hands. But bear in mind, these things are mostly done on animals. So psychologically, they saw Africans as such. Please let's have a look at the place is that, so I'll urge you to turn on your human light to help us go inside. There is a step down, and please watch your head when you're coming in. With the other gate there, it is very short. So you go down properly, you take 4 to 5 steps before you come out to prevent accident. Please don't forget to bend your hands when you get to that gate.